So guys, what we're going to do is, what would it be? Smoked ribs, Treno style really. So what I've got is 2 pork ribs. I couldn't get the membrane off. I had to get the Mrs. Tracy to get that off because I don't have the fingers for it. All we're going to do now is pat it dry. It's just really important to get it dry so the rub doesn't go all gluggy, I find anyway. So what I do is I just pat it down with a bit of paper towel, like this, both sides. Yeah. Don't lose the paper towel stuck to the pork ribs. Okay, and another trick that I have learnt is you grab a fork and you basically tenderise it. And it helps it get it tender, so you just go in between the bones, in between the ribs. Wherever you can get them in there like that. It'll also help get the seasoning in, I find anyway. I'm no expert, this is just what I've found and what the family likes. So just like this. Same on this one. Yes. Right, I'll do both sides. Extra tender. Cool, that one. Alrighty. So, first thing I do, mustard. This is a new one. That's how I get it off anyway. Alrighty. About yay. Okay, I'll get this ingredient though. This is what I like to use. That one. And touch of cherry. And that's about all I'm going to put on this one, I think. So what we do is get the mustard, rub it all in. Get it everywhere. I've washed my hands. Alright. So, I'll go to cherry first. Give it a light sprinkle. I found too that you can go a little bit too heavy-handed with this as well. So try to keep it light, get it covered, but keep it light. Otherwise it just goes gluggy and a bit too much. Okay. Now we'll put a bit of Big Mo casing on. Alright. So, exactly the same on the other side. All right, they're ready to go. There you go. We're about 125, 130 degrees, but that's fine. As soon as these ribs go in, it'll go down to about 110. You want to sit at about 110 to about 125, somewhere in there. That's Celsius degrees as well. And that's for my, what we call ugly drum smoker. So that's what works for us. Before we chuck these in, I'm going to chuck a chunk of, I might have hickory or cherry, I don't know what I've got left over, just for that extra bit of wood taste. And then we'll throw them in and we'll come back soon. 2 chunks of cherry wood is what I found. It comes in a pre-packaged thing. I just get them from Bunnings. But they're pre-cut. They look like they're from a job site, but they're not. They're actual cherry smoking wood. And I find that goes awesome with pork ribs. What we'll do is we'll chuck them in. This is the tricky bit. Not burning my fingies. Rightio. 1, 2. Righto, that'll smoke good. Now, on with these bad boys. That. Straight on with that. Now we'll go, leave it about 30 minutes, 45 minutes. We've got to keep an eye on this temp. Temp is the biggest thing. If you keep between 110, 125, you'll be laughing. We've got about an hour and a half of that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap them after an hour and a half with a couple of secret ingredients just to get that a little bit sweeter, a little bit more on the waistline really. All right, we'll see you soon. All right guys, there's one thing I have forgotten, and that's Coke for my JD. So let's go and get that right now. Get out the garage door here, and we're going on this. Well, that's how I get around anyway. $2.50 for fuel for diesel anyway, no bloody way. Let's get some Coke. Alright guys, got my Coke so I can finish the JDs. We'll have some JDs so I can finish this smoke ribs. Just general awesome Saturday, Arvo really. And stuff paying $2.50 for diesel. That's the shittiest part. Alright, this thing's for free. Just don't get run over. Alright guys, had to get you inside my shed. It was too windy outside and it was just hectic wind. So what I'm going to do is show you what I'm up to now. 2 ribs have been in there for about an hour, 45 minutes on the smoke. Now I want to baste them. So I want to put some just smoky barbecue sauce on for about, I don't know, once you put the sauce on, give it about 15 minutes and then baste it again, give it another 15 minutes, and then we're going to the wrap, which is an alfoil wrap with cola and butter. It is awesome. Righto, let's baste this bad boy.
All right, let me get you folks here. Right, don't forget to, righto, don't forget to keep the sauce nice and thin because it's only going on, you're gonna heat this or keep it cooking for 15 minutes, re-baste again or reapply smoky barbecue sauce and then let it go for another 15 minutes. We only want to do that twice. Well, that's what I do anyway. And then we're going to the wrap. So once that's done, put the lid back on, smoke it for another 15, sauce 15, we're good to go. Ooh, yes. That is looking good. A little bit of smoky barbecue on top to glaze. 15 minutes. Nice. Alright guys, coat number 2. Just the same stuff, I'm not doing anything different. Smoky barbecue sauce. Brush that on. Remember, nice and thin, because if it's thick, it'll just be gluggy. Alright, that's on. Let me give you a little look-see at this. Okay, so that's how they're starting to look now. See how they're just see the bones starting to poke out. Let me see if I get better light. See the bones just starting to poke out the outside there. I mean, it's getting good. It's just about time for wrapping. So, sorry guys, it's getting freaking dark in the shed. Yeah, so they're nicely lightly coated. I'm gonna give them 10-15 minutes and then I'm gonna wrap these bad boys. Alrighty. Alrighty, can you see that, guys? So what I'm going to do is take these out now, put them in the tray, I'm going to take them inside and I'll show you the secret ingredient that we put on there. You used to love it. Righto. So what I'm going to do now, I've just pulled them out of the smoker. So remember, they've been in there for an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes on the smoke. Then I did 15 minutes, I basted them with just smoky barbecue sauce. Did a light baste. That went for 15 minutes, did another light baste, smoky barbecue sauce, 15 minutes. And now I've just pulled them out of the drum, ugly drum smoker. Put them in this tray, and now I'm inside, because what I want to show you is, just to get these to fit a bit better, I just cut them in half. Right? Oh yeah. So at this point, they're pretty much nearly cooked. And all we're doing is we're just getting some moisture. Well, this is what I do anyway. Get moisture back into them. Right, get them to fit in. And that's how you tell. See the bones starting to come through? That's perfect. So now I just want these buggers to fit. Because, don't get at me if you put on weight from this recipe. That's going in there. Okay, so what you want to do, you don't want to drown it. Okay, all we're trying to do, I'll go a little bit more. So how much is that? Probably maybe 500 mils. All we're trying to do is get the evaporation so the moisture comes out of the cola and gets back into the ribs. So the other thing is, cola, sugar, salt and fats. That's all it is. That's all it ever is. So what we'll do is get a knife, and don't be scared with the butter too. This is a bad meal anyway. It tastes bloody great. So what I'm going to do is, what I like to do is I cut about pretty thick chunks. I like to do, if I can get this bugger in. It's actually a pretty thick chunk because it melts pretty quickly, you can imagine. So just try and get it into the layers where it's going to melt down onto them. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. All right, wash our hands. Okay, now it is the aluminium foil wrap from here. And what we're gonna do is wrap it up, because basically just trying to steam it, trying to stew it, trying to tenderize it. This is a new one, hang on. Do we have, no we don't. New one. Okay, get this new roll happening. Yeah. So what I do is, you're trying to keep that steam and that moisture in the actual tray. You don't want that to escape. If the steam escapes, that means it's going to dry out. Well, I found it dries out. What I do is, got a little gap there, so I go over like that, get that side too. Right. And then I do one more over there just to try and help the seal. Alright, get it tight around those edges. Don't want all that goodness going out. Okay, now that's going to go back in the smoker for around half an hour to 45 minutes. And we'll see you then. Back to the smoker. Now you remember, we've cut these ribs up, cola and butter, all the goodies, sealed it off. Back into the smoker, not doing anything different, straight onto the grill. Lid back on. Now we're still keeping it at that 110, 125 Celsius. And it's gonna be about another half an hour, 45 minutes from here. Remember, if you're looking, it ain't cooking. So leave it until then. All right, see you then. Alrighty guys, so we've had it in there for about 35, 45 minutes, yeah, something like that. So now we're gonna pull it out of the smoker, and that's it for now for the smoker. We're gonna put it onto the board to cart it inside, because it's bloody hot. And then once we're inside, I'll show you how good it looks inside. All right, so let's get in here. There's not much to show you right now, but it's just the tray. I'm gonna try and see if I can be sneaky. 127. Okay, put that on the ground. Now all I do for the smoker to actually turn this off is if you shut all the valves and stop the oxygen to it, simple as that, stops the fire, and then you're good. Righty, now it's inside, let's have a look. Now we're back inside the house. Now we can take the L4 off. That burning the fingies. Alright, so all you have to do now is just get rid of that liquid. Just use this. Okay, so all I do is I put a little bit of barbecue sauce now, just to top it off. Same thing, just with the baster. Out of the way. Alright, now that should be pretty good if you just let it, what I call is air out, basically, and get the moisture gets out of it a bit. So I would allow another 10-15 minutes, and then that'll actually crisp up a little bit, it'll dry out, and it'll be good to go. So you can try that one, guys. See you next time. Alrighty guys. Alrighty guys. Alrighty guys. Okay guys,